Hello everyone. Now let's talk about the various Android application development jobs in India in this particular module of the Catalyst series. Now, as we know that Android is a Java-based platform for smartphones which support various app developments. It helps you to innovate dynamic third-party apps. And Android is also an open source platform which provides the flexibility to build feature-rich applications. Now further, in this video, let's understand the various kind of job functions and job profiles and various opportunities in the Android market of India.
So let's look at the global opportunity and why Android is so much in the news. And if you go to the android.com official site, you'll see the reasons for that. So pretty much you can say every day more than 1 million Android devices are being activated worldwide. So you can imagine that if so many devices are being activated worldwide, there you can imagine the number of apps being downloaded every day from the Android market, and hence there is such a big opportunity for skilled professionals who can develop Android applications which become popular on the marketplace. And some more data here, you'll see 1.5 billion downloads a month, which is growing month on month, and Android has already overtaken the number of apps downloaded per month metric as compared to the other most popular mobile OS, which is the iOS, right? And on the site you'll see some very interesting names for the latest Android OS platform. So the first OS was Gingerbread, then it was Honeycomb, Ice Cream Sandwich, and now the latest OS is the Jelly Bean OS. And hence you'll find a lot of interest and a lot of requirements around the people who can develop applications on Jelly Bean OS. Android is Google's initiative. It's an open source initiative, which means that there are no charges, there is no license fee for anyone, for the end user, for the mobile hardware companies, anyone to start developing applications and ecosystems around Android. And some very interesting developer challenges currently on. We are in October 2012, and you'll see that there are some contests for applications to be developed in all these categories. Some very good prizes, some $100,000 prize, for example, for the first for the application which wins the first prize in these categories. So Google is also doing its bit to ensure that this has a lot of interest in the community. So that was on the opportunity side, and let's go back to our article where we're trying to understand what are the various kinds of job profiles in India.
Yeah, so there are various functions an Android app developer has to do. Let's take a look upon some of the important key functions an Android developer has to do. Now, the first one I see here is application development. An Android app developer has to have a good experience with programming skills in Objective-C. He also has to have a strong object-oriented design skill. He needs to be familiar with Android SDK and Eclipse, and also has to have strong programming skills in Java. So an Android app developer basically functions in designing and developing applications. He has to majorly develop applications in Android for smartphones. He also has to lead a team of people, to successfully deliver a project which is undertaken. Along with that, he also has to create compelling device-specific user interfaces and other experiences.
So that was on the application side. On the testing side, you can look at the circumstances in which a mobile application is used. That's mobiles. An application is used when someone is traveling or someone wants to check things very fast. So there are a lot of restraints when it comes to developing application on the mobile. Restraints with respect to the memory, with respect to how easy it is to use, and hence it's considered more challenging than traditional desktop application development. Hence testing is a very tedious and very complex process, and hence you require good professionals who are able to test applications developed on the Android front.
Now let's talk about the design part. Now in Android there is something called as a UI designer. that is a user interface designer. A UI designer in Android application development is generally skilled in user and task analysis. He also understands user research techniques, the kind of information architecture, and storyboarding. Along with this knowledge, he is skilled in wireframing. He also has to have an experience of working with several mobile platforms at the same time. He needs to have working knowledge of HTML5, CSS3, and the understanding of cross-browser requirements. A UI designer needs to set a crystal clear vision about the style and standards of the design as a part of his functionality. He has to work as a user advocate throughout the process of product planning and delivery when he undertakes any operation. He has to conduct ongoing primary and secondary research and incorporate the resulted insights into the user experience vision. In a nutshell, he has to design good products that empower and delight customers and propel the company's business. Now, after that, let's talk about the various Android application development jobs in India, and let's see the profiles. What kind of profiles do we have in India?
So all the three kinds of activities that we mentioned before, that is development, testing, and UI design, these are actually, it's very difficult to find someone who has all three of these skills. Typically, companies would look at different professionals for each of these skills, and definitely if it's a large company, a large undertaking, they will require specialists for each of the above skills. And in India, there are some gaming companies. There are some companies who specialize in gaming for Android. There are some companies who specialize in non-gaming, which is business, productivity, entertainment-related applications. One company which comes to our mind is Games to Win, and this is their site. And if you go to the Android app section, you'll see the kind of applications. One application which we like to mention is Barking Frenzy. We are in October 2012, and we know that this has done really well both in Android and iOS, and in fact was the #1 app worldwide for some time. A lot more companies in Bangalore and Hyderabad as compared to Bombay when it comes to Android development. So we featured some companies in this post. There's Technologies and Evolution India, which is based in Bombay and Bangalore specifically, respectively. If you want to have a look at the latest job opportunities at any point of time, you can have a look at it on this link in our blog. If you go, we have a different category which talks about the latest jobs which are present across India in Android. This will be a very good place where you can start your mobile application development job hunt.
Thank you very much. That's all for this session.